Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I am going over the top 5 books or series that I reread the most. Just in general, I am a huge rereader. I absolutely adore rereading. I never really have any problem with it. I know some people can't stand rereading books because they already know what's going to happen, so they're bored. That is not an issue for me. I can reread books and love them more than when I read them the first time. When I read, I don't really think about what's going to happen because I'm so immersed in the moment that it's never really been actually an issue for me. So as you can imagine, it was really hard to pick the books that I reread the most, but ultimately I managed to get it down to the top 5, each book kind of for a different reason. To start with, I have, of course, the Harry Potter series. I have reread this book series so many times over the years. This was like the first series I ever truly fell in love with, and every single time I reread it, I find something new that I just love about it or something I didn't notice before. It's kind of got that ultimate like nostalgic feeling to it because it takes me back to my childhood, and I can always just curl up with a blanket and reread these books. I don't think I will ever in my life get tired of rereading them. A next book that I reread a lot when I was younger is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Not even necessarily the whole series, just this book in specific. I read this book in 6th or 7th grade, fell weirdly, madly in love with it, and I actually was, I kid you not, the person at my school that got everybody else to read this, and then it became like a craze. I don't really read Twilight that much anymore. It's not quite my cup of tea, and I'm not so crazy fangirly about it, but when I was in middle school and probably like my first year of high school or so, I reread this book like crazy. I was obsessed, like beyond obsessed. I went to my best friend's birthday party, and while they prank called people at like 1 in the morning, I literally sat in the corner and read this book. I kid you not. The next series is one that I actually reread a lot right now, and that is the Kate Daniels series by Ilona Andrews. I absolutely adore this series, and I find that it's one that I can reread a lot. Whenever I'm kind of in the mood for just badass, funny, kick-ass heroine, and like a really good romance, interesting story, I automatically fall back on these books. They're all fairly small, and just every single time I read them, I still laugh, I still gasp, I still get like super intense suspense, nail-biting moments. I love this series, and they're kind of like my rainy day books. Whenever I just want to snuggle down and not really think about too much or read a new book that I have to do a review for or anything, I will automatically turn to this book series. Absolutely love them. The next series on my list is the Seven Waters series by Juliette Marlier. The reason that I reread these books so much is mostly that each book, while it ties in with the book previously, introduces a new set of characters, a new story, and they're all connected, but when you read one, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna read the 3rd book. It's the 3rd book in the series, so I can't read it by itself. Once you know, like, the whole series, you can go back and reread your favorites. So I usually read this one, the 2nd one, then like the 4th one and the 5th one are my favorites, I think. And I adore them. The storytelling is beautiful, the characters are beautiful, the romance is beautiful. Everything about these books is just wonderful. So I reread these a lot. And the final book on my list, probably maybe my most embarrassing one, because Twilight is understandable. When you're that age, Twilight is totally understandable. But this is one that I still reread all the time, and that is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I am not ashamed that I love this book. I just don't really know why I love this book. I reread this book all the time, you guys. It is kind of my go-to. Like, I just want a romance. I want a book that's gonna make me cry and feel all mushy and gushy on the inside, and I will go to this book and I will skip past like the first 100 pages, and then I will bust out the rest in like an hour or two. I honestly don't really know what it is about this book that is so like comforting to me, but it really is. I think it's because I know that I just love everything about it, and it kind of has like these warm nostalgic feelings to it because I've read it so much over the years, and it still makes me cry every time, and I don't know, it's just kind of my go-to, like, I want to feel sad, but like a happy sad, you know, sort of feeling. And even though I know how the book goes and I know what's going to happen, I still find myself like wanting to read it. I don't know why. It is puzzling, that is for sure, but I have read this book probably at least like 15, 20 times. Alright you guys, so those are the 5 books that I reread the most. Comment below and let me know what books that you guys find yourself rereading the most and why. It's kind of strange that some people can reread, some people can't, some people absolutely hate it, others love it. It's really a strange thing, and I'm always interested to know why people don't like rereading, because it's something that I do so much. So feel free and let me know. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.